Hello, I'm Sarah Burns with the Salt Lake Local Real Estate Group. And today I want to talk to you about the importance of place. I work with a lot of corporate clients that are coming in, they're coming in to move to Utah from out of state or out of the country. So I feel like professionally speaking, this is a very important topic, but I also think that more than anything, it's personally an important topic. What role does place play in who we become as individuals, in giving us access to our most authentic, most creative selves? What place does place play in the deepening of our relationships? How does it play out in our careers? Right? So I think that the topic of place is a very important topic. And I want to tell you a little bit about my background and why place is so important to me. I was raised in Alpine, Utah, which is around the corner from Salt Lake. And Alpine is tucked into the corner of a vast, beautiful mountain. Lots of open space, lots of quiet, peace, solitude. It really was a gift to be raised there as a child. Every child deserves this. I remember on the weekends going with my father on his dirt bike into the mountains. And I remember finding grasshoppers and beautiful caterpillars and butterflies and bull snakes. And this really promoted both a sense of adventure in me, but more importantly, it promoted a profound desire for connection and a desire to gain awareness as to what life is, right? What is the life of a caterpillar? What is the life of a butterfly? What is my life? Why am I here, right? It was a beautiful experience. And I remember one evening being at the top of the mountain with my father at sunset, and we were sitting on a huge boulder, and he was looking out over the sunset, and I've never seen him so quiet, so at peace. And he didn't look at me, he kept looking at the sunset, but he said, "Honey, that's the face of God." And I think that my father, without knowing it, he kind of created a little bit of a pagan in me in that moment. The idea that the earth, that beauty can heal all things. And I still believe that today. I remember being out in the backyard when I was maybe 6 years old, and there was an anthill, and I was watching the ants travel in and out. And I wondered how many of them are in there. It seems like there's an awful lot. So I took a little stick, I jammed my stick into that anthill, and it just exploded with life. And it was fascinating to me. So I'm leaning over this anthill, watching them, and I feel my mother's hand on my shoulder, and I turn around, and I can tell that she's not only disappointed, she's not just disappointed in me, she's sad. And she says to me, "Honey," she said, "those ants work as a colony. They collaborate to build their community, and it takes them time. And in one foul swoop, you have ruined their home. You've ruined their work of art." And this really, really impacted me. Okay. And my mother, she could tell that I was impacted by this. She could tell that I was impacted by her sense of disappointment and sadness. And that was not her intent. And she said to me, "But again," she said, "you have to remember they are a collaborative system. They work together. And because of that, they're going to be able to repair this. And when they do, you're going to know to respect that space, to love that space, to witness it for the beauty that it is, and you're not going to harm them again." And my mother in this moment really, really ingrained in me the meaning of community, right? The importance and the beauty of connection and collaboration. I believe that the environment that I was raised in, it is responsible for so many of my belief systems, down to my work ethic. I remember being 9, 10 years old. My father was a super hard worker. I respected this. I wanted to show him I could work hard too. So I tried to start the lawnmower. I was going to cut the lawn. He saw me and he said, "Oh, honey, that's too heavy for you." I knew he was wrong. It wasn't too heavy for me. I could do it. So he and my mother left to go somewhere. I spent 10, 15 minutes trying to get this lawnmower started. It was a pull cord start, really hard. I finally get it started. I cut the whole lawn while he's gone. And, but I should say it wasn't done so well. There were lots of spaces that had not been cut. But my father got home and he was very, very appreciative and respected my effort. And he applauded me for this. And he said, "Honey, you did a fantastic job. And I should really be paying you for this kind of hard work. And let me show you how you can overlap the lawn, the lawnmower, so that you cut every inch of the lawn flat," right? My father taught me the value of work through our outdoor environment. I worked with him in the garden. I worked with him clearing stones for flower beds, raking leaves, and he paid me well. And because he paid me well, I would come to believe that I was worthy of being paid well in the future in my own profession. Okay. I believe that all these value systems, they would not exist in me without the environment that I was raised in. Okay. We had lots of kids in that neighborhood, and we had a stream that ran through, and all the kids would go down to the stream bed and we'd play swords. We'd play kings and queens. We'd ride in our little blow-up boats down the river. Okay, so the environment promoted playfulness, and playfulness is how both children and adults bond. So let's fast forward to I'm older now. Okay, I'm 25 years old. I've had Christian, and Jeff and I, his father, we've been married a while, and we talk and we realize the marriage is not benefiting either one of our growth. So we have a very amiable divorce, and I have to decide what profession will I go into to support my son, both financially and also to give him access to me emotionally, and to give access to him structurally as well. So I intuit that I should go into real estate. And I don't know why, because I don't know anybody in real estate. I had not a single connection, but this was very important. It felt very important to trust this intuition. So I went into real estate, and I was very ambitious and motivated and highly disciplined, characteristics that I got from my father, and needed characteristics in order to provide for my son. And I got into real estate in a good market, and I made a very good living. And I transitioned quickly from just selling homes to working with large development projects and new construction luxury homes. And this was working out splendid for me. I was making a great income, had everything that I needed, but something felt off track on a deeper level for me. And I could pinpoint what it was, but I couldn't acknowledge really what the problem was, because if I had done that, I wouldn't have had a way to make my living. Okay. And what the problem was is that I was a person who was fixated on community. Okay. When my parents divorced, when I was about 15, my sense of community felt utterly dismantled within our family unit, but also within my greater community. And that had been a huge loss in my life that had been impacting every single one of my decisions and my relationships. And I was in a business world that didn't seem to be too concerned with community. It was mostly profit driven. Okay. And so it wasn't aligned with my value system. 2008, we have the biggest recession that we've ever had. And my business was fully dismantled. Okay. And at the time, it was very scary. The majority of homes that we saw in the market were either short sales or foreclosures. I was concerned about losing my own home, okay, because the two segments of the industry that I specialized in, new construction, luxury homes, and development, those things were shut down completely. So I was absolutely positive that my career was collapsing. In all reality, my life was doing something very special, right? It was collapsing one thing to make space for something new. And this is what our lives do. Okay. When something awful is happening, you're not being punished. There's space being made for something new to enter. And all you have to do is be open and patient. So I'm in the mountains one day and I'm hiking, which is where I go when I'm not at peace to find peace. And as I'm in the mountains, I say to myself, gosh, I wish I didn't have so many social anxieties. I wish I had someone to share all this beauty with. And 2-3 days later, I get a call from my broker and he says to me, Sarah, I've been thinking about you and you are the kindest person and the most fun person and you're really good at what you do. And I really think that there could be a valuable place for you on the relocation team. But right now we only have a rental spot available and a lot of agents haven't wanted this because it doesn't pay too great, but it's an entry opportunity. And I jumped at the opportunity because more than anything, I just wanted to be working. And there was not enough work for me in what I had been doing. But more importantly, I knew what it was like to be housing insecure. My housing felt insecure at that very moment. When my parents had got divorced, my housing felt insecure, and housing and community was profoundly important to me. And so I took this opportunity, never guessing the way that it would transform me. Okay. Again, my initial desire had been that I wanted to share the beauty of Utah with someone else. Okay. And this opportunity with relocation opened the door for that. As I worked with all these people coming from outside of the state, I recognized they don't have a community either. They don't have a community, just like I felt to be stripped of my community. They've lost their community. They don't know anyone here. And so I started to be able to connect people. And Utah played a foundational role in that, because again, I believe that just like children, they bond through play, so do adults. And if you hold hiking events or barbecues in your backyard, right? Or, yoga events, people come, they want to meet new people. They want to be playful. They want to have adventure. And this is what the environment of Utah, along with the opportunity to work with relocation, did for me. Is it cured my social anxieties. It healed my loss of community. That loss of community was completely restored for me through the combination of place and my career. I want to tell you about another place I'm in love with, Savannah, Georgia. My sister lives there. And the first time I went to Savannah, Georgia, I knew that I was entirely in love the way that most people are with their romantic partners. Okay, that's how I feel about Savannah. Savannah has all kinds of communal spaces everywhere, parks and town squares and local restaurants and boutiques and coffee shops where people just hang out and chat all day with strangers that become friends. There's lots of local music, right? The ocean is 25 minutes away. The river is downtown, where there's all these wonderful local restaurants with that view of the river, where they play blues music and jazz music. But these are areas that support more than anything community coming together. And I took my son here recently. When my son was there, he suddenly had all these ideas for a future profession in a way that he hasn't anywhere else, right? Because the place that we are in, it stimulates creativity. It stimulates new ideas. It stimulates relationships. And one thing that Savannah has done for me in addition to that is it's brought me back to a part of myself that I once disowned, because I felt that at one point that it wouldn't be respected in business. Okay. And that's the part of me that is romantic and the part of me that is mythical and magical and enchanted. Okay. This is what Savannah is, and it gives me deeper access to myself. So why am I telling you all this? You're probably going, man, this realtor, she's full of way too much information. But the reason I tell you this is because where you are, it matters so much. It has something so special for your life. And if you're a person that's coming to Utah, maybe you're thrilled, maybe you're super excited. You've wanted to live here for all our recreation and our national parks and our skiing. Okay, but maybe you're also a person, you've been really comfortable where you're at. You don't want to come, but you have somebody in your life that you love dearly, and they have a job opportunity here. And you love them so much that you want to support them and you're going to come with them. Let me say to you, if that has happened, this is not a coincidence. Your life has not done this by accident. There is something meaningful here for you that is intended to enhance your life, to deepen what you are, to deepen your relationships. My partner, my lending partner, Ashley Seipert, and I, we want to be a part of that for you. We hold lots of events for our relocation clients so that they can make new friends. We have hiking events and yoga events and catered events in my beautiful backyard. And we hope that you're going to join us in this. If you have any questions about Salt Lake and Park City real estate or community, we hope that you will reach out to us. It is our deepest pleasure to be able to connect you to the things that matter. Thank you so much for joining me today.